The story continues. When Osita saw Amaka's mood, there was an unknown pain in his heart. He invited her in and allowed her to ask him whatever she wanted. Ugo just mentioned that he is a prince. Is it true? When Osita had this question, he took a deep breath, knowing that someday he would talk about his origin. Yes, we are princes from the Mberi kingdom. Many years ago, Oluma, Ugo, and the Osita's mother were personal maid to the queen of the Mberi kingdom. She was a dedicated and hard-working maiden, a wonderful woman. Everyone in the palace knows of her dedication to her work, and the queen noticed, appointing her as her maid. One night, the queen suddenly felt unwell and asked Oluma to call her husband the king. When she got to the king's chamber, she noticed he was drinking and seemed drunk already. In his drunken state, the king seized her and took advantage of her innocence. Oluma was devastated but could not speak out against a mighty king. The next day, the queen noticed the change in Oluma's behavior and worried about her beloved maid. Oluma, heavy with guilt and fear, chose to leave the palace. Returning to her father's house, she later found out she was pregnant with twins, Ugo and the Osita. Does it mean that the king doesn't know of your existence? Amaka asked. That was what we thought until 2 months ago when a royal message came to my mother, Oluma, informing her that the king was critically ill and would like to see her. When Oluma got to the palace, the king indeed was unwell and could not talk. The chief priest and the elders informed her that they were aware of what the king had done to her 25 years ago. Oluma had no choice but to forgive him since he was the father of her children. 2 days later, the king joined his ancestors. Before he passed away, he declared among all the princes, including Ugo and the Osita, that whoever could marry the princess of Ezumezu's kingdom would become the next king. Nobody knows the identity of the princess of Ezumezu kingdom. She was a mysterious princess, but her name was known to all royalties and commoners. Rumors had it that Princess Oledo was a charming, intelligent, and wise girl born with a special gift of wealth. Every man in the land wanted to marry her. After listening to the whole story, Amaka now understood why Ugo left her. She laughed and asked herself who would choose a shapeless girl over Princess Oledo. Osita told her to stop saying that about herself because only a blind person wouldn't see her beauty. Amaka was shocked to hear this because this was the first time someone referred to her as beauty. That day, despite being heartbroken, Amaka went home in high spirits, knowing someone could see her beauty despite her size. Amaka told her grandmother all that happened that day, and her grandmother comforted her. She told her that the right man would still come. The next day, Amaka began her daily activities as usual. Amaka was busy in the kitchen when her grandmother told her someone was looking for her. To Amaka's greatest surprise, it was Osita. Osita was on his way to the village market where he owned a small provision shop and decided to check on Amaka. Amaka was surprised to see him in her house because this was Osita's first visit since she knew him. When Osita saw the surprise on Amaka's face, he felt awkward, but he could not help it. His feelings for Amaka have taken over him. Osita has hidden his feelings all these months. This is what happened. That first day Amaka brought Ugo home from the bush. The moment Osita set his eyes on her, he felt an unexplainable connection towards her. He had countless dreams about her. On that day, he decided to confess his feelings to Amaka. Unfortunately, he saw Amaka confessing her feelings to Ugo. Ugo is his twin brother and he doesn't want anything to bring enmity between them. So all he can do is wish them well. He hid his feelings and avoided contact with Amaka. Yesterday, when Amaka left, he could not stop worrying about her, blaming his brother for hurting such a nice girl. Oster greeted Amaka and asked how she was doing. He gave Amaka the oranges he had brought and told her she should not hesitate to let him know if she needed anything. Amaka thanked him, collected the oranges with a smile on her face, and bid him farewell. From that day, it became routine for Oster to visit Amaka's house every morning to see her before going to the market and when coming back. In no time, they became best of friends, and although Oster wanted more than friendship, he decided to take it one step at a time to gain Amaka's trust first and let her know that he was different. Oster was kind, respectful, and generous. He treated Amaka like a princess and always made her laugh. Amaka had never received such attention from anyone except her grandmother, not even Ugo, her ex. Sometimes, she wondered why she fell for Ugo, thinking maybe because he was the only friend she was close to at that time. Months passed, and their friendship continues to grow stronger. One evening, Amaka heard that Princess Oledo was choosing a suitor and demanded that every eligible bachelor assemble in the palace. She asked Oster, "Are you not going to participate in the selection, since your father said that anyone who marries Princess Oledo will become the next king of your kingdom, or are you not interested in becoming the next king of your kingdom?" When Oster heard her questions, he answered honestly, "I am not interested in any of them." He then gazed into Amaka's eyes and said to her, "Amaka, please, will you marry me?" This sudden question startled Amaka. He stood there, not knowing how to respond to him. Oster was indeed a handsome man, and throughout their friendship, Amaka had seen many who had crushed on him. The shy ones would come to Amaka and beg her to help them tell Oster how they felt about him, and the brave ones would go to Oster by themselves. Still, he rejected those maidens. The rejected arrogant ones will pour their frustration on Amaka when they see her, warning her to stay away from Oster because they know she is telling him to leave them. Amaka at the time was wondering what kind of woman Oster wanted, because the maidens he refused were beautiful, slim, and curved in the right places. She had never in her widest imagination thought that Oster would be interested in someone like herself. When Oster saw Amaka's reaction, he was afraid she would reject him because of what his brother did to her. He didn't want to miss this opportunity, so he told her he loved her and would never abandon her. Although Amaka finds him attractive, she doesn't want what happened before to repeat itself. So she says to Oster, "I do not doubt your love for me, but I want you to be sure of what you want. I will give you my answer after you have gone for the selection." Oster had no choice but to agree to go for the selection. On the event day, the princes from different kingdoms, farmers, traders, warriors, eligible bachelors, including Ugo and Oster, and even the villagers, all made their ways to the palace in anticipation of seeing this mysterious princess. Although Oster was present there, his mind was thinking about Amaka, wishing the process would end so he could return to Amaka his love and get her answer to his proposal. Princess Oledo was called out to greet her visitors. They were all amazed at her beauty, but on a closer look, they were all shocked. Amaka, the maiden they all mocked and refused to befriend, was the mysterious Princess Oledo. They were all ashamed of their actions, but wondered how Amaka became slim in no time. When Amaka sent their curious gaze, She knew it was time to share her story. What happened was this. Many years ago, the king and queen of the Ezumezu kingdom, who had been married for so long, finally had a child. They had a beautiful baby girl named Oledo. On the night she was born, there was heavy rain and thunderstorms, an uncommon event in the kingdom, carrying great omens. The next day, the royal seer visited the palace and told the king and queen that the princess was not like any other child. She said the princess was born with a special gift of wealth. She can give and destroy wealth, and whoever her heart loves will have immense wealth and become powerful. The royal seer also told the king and queen that Princess Oledo would face difficulty growing in the palace because their enemies would try to take her away for their advantage. She advised them to send her out in disguise so that no one could recognize her. The king and queen agreed, and the seer cast a particular spell on Princess Oledo to remain fat until her 20th birthday, when she returned to the palace to choose a marriage partner. The spell would be broken. Princess Oledo was given to the queen's most trusted maid, who took her to Amaka, one of the 4 villages in the kingdom, and brought her up as her grandchild by the name Amaka. The whole kingdom was shocked by what they had. Ugo was the first to react and rushed forward. When he got to Amaka, he took her hand saying, "My love, why didn't you tell me all this? But don't worry, I'm here to protect you." The queen was furious to see this because she knew what transpired between Ugo and Amaka. So she told Ugo, "My daughter made you rich and powerful," but never said anything. Ugo was shocked now, understanding the source of his prosperity, and the realization that he mistreated and abandoned the very source of his wealth struck him with the bitter truth. Realizing the extent of his actions, he begged Amaka for forgiveness, pleading with her to return to him. However, Amaka said, "You are selfish. Now I am a slim and beautiful princess. You want me back. I will never return to you because my heart belongs to another, someone who knows what love is and genuinely loves me despite my size." With that said, Amaka went straight to Osta, who was still in shock, and said, "I am now ready to answer your proposal. Yes, I would marry you if you are still willing to take me as your wife." Osta was overjoyed and they got married instantly. Osta took Amaka back to his kingdom, where he became the most powerful and wealthiest king, and with the help of his queen Amaka, he ruled his kingdom with love and wisdom. As for Ugo, he later became poor. As Amaka did not love him again, he returned to his palm wine business. This story teaches us that true beauty lies within, and outward appearances should not determine one's worth. It shows the value of kindness, humility, and true love. We should treat others with respect and compassion regardless of their size or status. Love conquers all, and honesty is the key to happiness. It also reminds us that actions have consequences, and mistreating others, especially those who have shown us kindness, can lead to regret and loss. It is important to be true to yourself and follow your heart even in the face of pressure. What do you think about Amaka's decision? Do you believe forgiveness is always justified, or are there situations where it's better to move on? Thank you for watching. Subscribe for more videos like this, and don't forget to drop your comments below. Bye!